And that's why so many Americans are willing to go to great lengths right now in order to make every single penny count. Because people are kind of forced to cut back on things and be more frugal, this is actually having an impact not only on the way people live, but also on businesses and their bottom lines. You see, this video today is really a great lesson in just how interconnected every sector of the economy is. Because when one part starts to falter, then it kind of puts the rest of it on a wobble. So what people are doing right now is people are doing things like diluting their cleaning products. They're using less toothpaste. They're finding ways to make household supplies last longer, using less paper towels, things like that. Some are even buying meat in bulk, such as half a cow, in order to save in the long run. This is something that I remember my family used to do when I was growing up. In fact, we had an entire freezer in our basement that was dedicated to the cow that we would buy every year. Can't remember if it was half a cow or a full cow, but basically we would buy that, and that would be enough meat to last pretty much most of the year. And it would be in this giant freezer just filled to the max of all the different cuts from the cow. But because of these cutbacks in household supplies, companies like Procter & Gamble, for example, are seeing declining sales volume as consumers make products stretch longer and don't buy as much. Procter & Gamble's fabric care sales fell 2%, with consumers using up existing inventory instead of buying new items. And private label generic brands aren't gaining any ground on Procter & Gamble, for example, showing that people are simply consuming less overall. Like when it comes to laundry detergent, for example, people are using half doses. They're using half doses of dishwasher detergent. They're adding vinegar to their laundry instead of fabric softener. They're cutting paper towels in half. They're skipping more name brands for generic brands. And the smart parents out there are actually not taking their kids grocery shopping with them anymore, because you know how it is. You have your kid in the shopping cart. Oh, mommy, I want this, I want that. And then in order to just get them to shut up, you end up buying it. How do I know that, even though I don't have any kids? Because I used to be that kid. I'm sure my mom's going to get a laugh out of that one. So basically, people are taking this approach where we're going to make the products that we buy last as long as possible, and we're going to wait until every last drop is gone before we buy more. And when they do buy it, they're buying it in bulk and buying the cheapest version possible, so that way you can make it last as long as possible. And that's why the sales for these products are falling. And some people were able to achieve some sizable savings from this. Like, for example, one family reduced their grocery bill from $1,700 in July of this year down to $1,265 in September, saving over $400 per month. And how they did this was by cutting back on consumption, monitoring their usage, and buying cheaper versions of everything. And a lot of these corporations are like, oh, this is going to blow over. This isn't going to last forever. Procter & Gamble executives told investors that they expect spending to normalize to 3 to 4% growth eventually, as people will still need basic essentials. Well, yeah, they will, but they might not buy it from you. You guys sell name brand products that are generally more expensive, so they might start buying the store brand of everything. But a lot of families are saying, no, I don't think so. The economy has fundamentally changed right now for the worse, and it doesn't seem like things are going to get any better. It's not like once 2026 rolls around, Happy New Year, life is affordable again. No, it's not going to be like that. So a lot of families are saying we're going to keep our frugal habits indefinitely because we're realizing this is the only way that it makes sense to try and survive right now. Now that inflation seems to be here to stay and the Fed really doesn't care, they just cut interest rates another 25 basis points, by the way, as the inflation numbers continue to go up. So clearly, they don't care about that. And they have no interest in getting inflation back down to their 2% target. So now that more people are living paycheck to paycheck, they're being forced to pinch pennies indefinitely. And once you get used to doing things a certain way, you just kind of keep doing that. Now, I will say that there are some benefits to this. Like, first of all, it teaches people how to get by with less. Our ancestors, just going back 100 years ago, didn't have half of the crap that we have, and they were able to live decent lives and get by just fine, right? But now today, everybody has to have everything and they have to have it yesterday. There's no patience either. So this is kind of like forcing people to relearn how to budget, forcing people to relearn how to live with less and be content and satisfied with what they already do have in life. And that's not really a bad thing in 2025 when things have really shifted in the other direction over the past few years. Good thing I'm over here today. San Francisco's covered in fog, and we got nothing but sunshine in Tiburon.